Hi guys, it's Aegis here. So finally, we get all our Megacolony cards for Clan Selection Volume 1 reviewed, and have to say I feel very excited, and they are good cards. So I think it's worth for me to do a video for it because I do like to play with Megacolony a lot, and I do want to see them to have good support. And well, I've even just print out some proxies to just get prepared to play with, and these are the cards that we actually get revealed. So we have 3 new cards, and I will go over them one by one, like what kind of decks that you can probably play with them. I still need to play test them because I just print them out for proxies, and I probably will play with my friends if we find time. Then maybe I can find more ideas and share with you guys. So let's talk about the great one first. So of course I will show you another picture, maybe something else that helps. So this is the Mutant Gentleman High Class Moth. So of course a great one, but it's very important great one as well. So his first skill is a continuous skill from deck or so. It is regarded as a grade 3. So now in Soul it can be a grade 3, meaning you can use Stunning Collier second skill, which doing guard restrictions from hand by soul blasting this card. From deck, meaning you can call this out with Gridora and give it 10k plus, while also giving your Gridora 10k plus. So this is very important because just by doing so you can already like save yourself a lot of room of grade 3s if you need to, because not everyone like going to like the extreme that I like to go, or maybe my friends like to go with like 14 15 grade 3s. Not everyone like it, but with this you can at least think of lowering your grade 3 ratios. But of course if you still want to have a higher ones, just keep it. And also, not to forget that we also have a grade 1 promo for Megacolony that you can Soul Blast a grade 3 to get yourself a Protect. So that's something else that you can work for. And how you can put this card into your Soul, which is very easy. For example, you have your Lancer, you have your like Officer. Those can just put units from field to soul, so you can just use the second effect, which I will talk about very soon, and just put it into your soul so that you can soul blast it as a grade 3 even for your Ant Lion during attack phase. That's even possible. So really making a lot of decks a lot stronger. And also the second skill, which makes this card a lot more important, is by resting this unit, you can put one normal unit from your drop zone to the bottom of your deck. And by doing that, you countercharge one and select one of your opponent's regard, and during the turn that unit cannot intercept, even though this skill can only activate once per turn per name. So even if you have multiple copies, you can't just rest. You can only rest one of them and use this skill. So what important is that because there are times that we, for example, we use Clear Breeze to drop a grade 3 to give our opponents a cradle marker. Sometimes because we have so many grade 3s, so that we need to discard them from hand, or we play very well with Gridora, we keep pushing grade 3s out, but we're starting to running out of resources. What can we do? Rest this, put a grade 3 to the bottom of the deck, also counter charge one so that you can use your counterblast skills again and do your work. And now you have more grade 3s to call out. So this card really helps the deck a lot, and is the first card that we got revealed. And just by seeing this, I'm already excited without knowing his skill until today. Yeah, so that's something that you can think of. You can put it in a Ghidorah build, you can put it in a Gunning build, and of course you can put it in with this guy as a main. I think you can also even consider putting it in like a stack beetle build or something like that, which is possible, but most likely main focus will be Ghidorah, Gunning, and this. Yeah, so now let's go to the second card that we got revealed, which is also today, which is in the morning, is the Pincer Attack Mutant Intrusius. So it's a grade 3. So yeah, we are actually running more grade 3s now. So now we have more options. His first skill is a drop zone skill, auto skill. If your grade 3 or higher Vanguard attack battle ends during the turn, if your opponents have a new card being placed on the damage zone, counter lasting 1, you can call this unit out. So it didn't force you to see if your Vanguard attack hits, which means you can just like swing with your Regas first. As long as your opponents take 1 damage, you can call this guy out after your Vanguard attacks, which is easy. So, and of course, after we talk about this guy, you will know it's even easier. So you have extra attacker from drop if you want to, and like you most likely can just save this guy's skill not by putting this card back to your bottom of the deck, but if you want to, you can still do, because his second skill is when he appears on Riga Circle by Soul Blasting 1, choose one of Riga Standard, and this unit will get 10k. So even if this is in the drop zone and you use this guy's skill to put it back to the bottom of the deck, you can still use Ghidorah to call it out, get 10k for both. Soul Blast 1, stand your probably Sticky Bolus or any crazy attacker, anything, or even like your Psycho Mantooth. And then this card will also get 10k. So just by itself with Ghidorah, it's a 32k attack. So that's already strong. And a lot of people are like asking questions like, should we play it with Hell Demise together, or we can just replace Hell Demise? But to me, I would say it's not a replacement, it's something add-on. So because Hell Demise not only resting your opponent's unit and stand on your own stuff, but it also stun your opponent's like background regard on the same line with this card. So he still got his uses, but he don't have to protect. So if you ask me the ratio, I would say I would actually put both with this a little bit more, because I don't mind to put it onto the drop zone. These I want to see them in the deck, and do remember this restanding skill requires you a Soul Blast. So it's sometimes not that easy to get your soul. Yes, you do have your Lancer, you do have your Officer, but in a way you're still losing a unit in order to fill up that soul. So Hell Demise still got its place, but it depends on the deck that you're playing. If you are playing a more like the Gunning Collio build or the New Guy build, then you probably will be better off with this, because it doesn't require you to call from the deck. It just requires you to just play it even from hand. So yeah, that's something that you can consider. And since you stand stuff, you can also put it in like machining builds, because you rest your stuff, and this is one way you can stand your stuff. And pumping power, then with your sparkling Hercules, then you can just minus the power, and this guy already swing big. So, and you are giving it more power even, so that your opponents need to drop more cards to guard. Yeah, so that's the second card. And let's talk about a final star, which is like the hero of the clan selection for Megacolony, is Worm Toxin Mutant Venom Stinger. So this card, after it's get reviewed, I am so impressed. Maybe people who don't play Megacolony or they just play a lot of Gridoras may not think this card is great, but it really got its own potential. So let's talk about his skill. First skill, during a turn, as long as your opponent has a new card getting placed on damage zone, during a turn, it gets 10k. It's not once per turn, it can be stacked. So as long as you just keep pushing your opponent's damage during the turn, he will just become bigger, bigger, and bigger. Which is already helpful because Megacolony don't always have like power pumps, or their power pumps isn't that impressive. Even with Ghidorah pumping 10k on both, but if you're facing Force Clan, once they got a trigger, you just can't hit. So this can help you a lot more easier to hit. And the second skill, which you will see how great this card is when it attacks as a Vanguard, by counterblasting one and put one of your Regal into your soul during the turn for the during the battle, not the turn, sorry. When your opponent's damage check getting a trigger unit, they won't activate the trigger effects, and instead you run it. So it goes more than Novel that negates opponent's trigger, and it actually steals your opponent's trigger effects, including the power plus. Also, if you soul blasting a grade 3 when you attack using this skill, you choose 2 of your opponent's damage, up to 2, and place them into the drop zone. And for each card that you drop, you give your opponent's Vanguard a damage. Which means, first, you clean the damage. Maybe if you're facing a North Seal or something, then you can just put in some cards that you don't want to see on the damage zone and put them to drop. That's one thing. Second thing, you deal damage as a damage. From there, they may get triggers. If they got triggers, the effects are yours. Even if they don't, you place 2 new cards to the damage zone. So the first skill will pump this card to 32k. So that's already done. And this card, after you sting your attacks, do all the stuff. Since you give them new cards on damage zone already, you can actually call this card out. Right? Just by counter blasting 1. So you can just simply swing for something, and then swing with this card, do all the stuff, and put maybe like 2 back, and do 2 more attacks. That's possible. Or you just put 1 back because you want to put triggers effects on something else, so that they can gain the trigger effects. Or even, because this card, as long as you soul blast 1, you will withstand a unit, so you can just simply swing all of them, and after this swing, just call one out. Since you put all the trigger effects on this and you withstand this, then you swing 2 more times. So you still get to do 5 attacks at least. And for this card's battle, you just basically kill off all their trigger effects. Now, that's something that I still need confirmation. I can't be too sure, so just try to find yourself some answers as well, but I will tell you what I think. Okay, so with this card effects, it did say during the battle, it steals trigger effects. Now, what if this card attack hits? So when this card uses skill, it already take care of 2 cards in damage, and then if your Vanguard hits, that's another 1 or maybe multiple damages. Now, usually when we look at like the rulebook, there's a like a damage step, and there's a close step, and from close step you will have check timing, and it will take a look at the like the battle ends or during the battle, all this kind of stuff. It checks all of those effects and clean them off and then end the battle. So if you ask me, I would say if this card effect is active, you did attack, counterblast one, and get this effects on, and your attack hits. And your opponent's trigger check, damage check, they got a trigger. Which I think will still be able to steal that part because it's still part of the battle. The opponents will still need to take the damage and then goes to damage step that get it done, go to close step and end the battle. So I think taking damage is from attack is still part of the during the battle, so it's still part of the battle. So if you ask me, I would say it's count, but maybe later in the QA they might say something different, which we still need to wait. Okay, so I can only tell you what I think, but you can always find your answers. Yeah. So that's basically all, but we can also talk about what this card can put in. Of course, you can use him as a main Vanguard, no problem at all. And then you just chuck in something else, for example, your scissors. For example, some double speed, cyclone tooth, all this kind of decking out stuff. And you can also mix it with a gunning colio so that you can just keep focusing on decking your opponents out. Yes, let's deck them all up. That's possible, which is what I'm trying to think of right now. But I'm still thinking of what I should do with the grade 2 ratios. Do I still need the water gangs? Do I still want the killer leaf so that I can push more ditching? And for grade researchers, do I still want a hornet, or I'm actually better with the newer grade researcher? That I don't know. Phantom Blacks, because as long as we use Gunning Colio, I can still kind of block their guards. And yeah, so there's a lot of stuff to think. Do we need like lancers so that we can fill up our souls? Do we want to use Antlion because we can put new cards, great freeze into our soul easier? All this stuff. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff that we can think about. And if you are trying to get into Megacolony like this moment, first you do need to secure yourself some kind of selection, because for Japanese version it's quite hard to get right now. And even before, when we pre-order, what I heard is the order is likely going to get cut, and I have no idea how big the impact is right now. So I can tell you how many I get until I actually get the stuff. But some old stuff that you can think of getting, for example, the playset of the Ghidorah set, maybe. But you probably won't be using this guy at all. These two you will be. So if you are going to just play this and you like Ghidorah, then you definitely can go there. But if you do want to play this, then what I think is, of course, these three you need to find them. I would suggest you to find some Colios, 2, 4, whatever. Double speed, something that you can consider using, won't hurt you at all. And then try to find yourself some Cycleman Tooth, because he also ditch your bonus deck and he can gain 10 cannon crit for the whole turn, which your Caesars can withstand. But you need to consider a lot of soul charging if you really do so. So again, officer, laser, the blocking intercept, and kind of from power. So that's something that you need to consider. And even like this little great one, you can turbulence signal you can also consider, because this can place cradle markers randomly with ditching your opponent's cards. Yeah, so there's a lot of stuff that you can think of, and I will try to work on a list, which again I'm still on my thinking phase. What is good, what is not, because I'm still thinking, should I like play Butterfly Officer, should I play Lancer, all this stuff. Yeah, so once I get a better list or something that I feel comfortable with, I will definitely share, and you can also see how you work from there, or maybe you have some other ideas. Yeah, so that's about it. Since it's about Megacolony and it's quite important to me, that's why I'm making this video like extremely fast. Yeah. So thanks for watching, guys. Let me know if you have any questions about these recards and your thoughts about them. So do you like it? Do you not? It's kind of a new way. It's kind of Megacolony by stealing or making your opponents weaker. But at the same time, it's kind of like another clan skill. But no matter what, I like it. That's all that matters. Yeah, so again, thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you guys in the next video. Signing off.